Keep watering yourself with good thoughts, with positive thoughts. This is All About Life by Doreen Guia. As usual, remember to subscribe, share, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. We are encouraged every day to entertain positive thoughts, to entertain good thoughts, to think well about ourselves. And as we can imagine, this doesn't come easy. Today, I want us to talk about the blame game. Why do you keep blaming other people for your predicaments, for where you are in life? You know, the other day I read a meme and it said, nobody is coming to rescue you. As in, you've got to do the work. Nobody is coming to rescue you. And many times, the reason why we blame others is because we don't want to take responsibility for our own mistakes, for the reason we are where we are at in life, the reason we are suffering or not. We want to put this blame on someone else. It's so easy. It feels good when you have an excuse as to why you've not achieved something or done a particular thing. Why is your life this way? And you have a list of everybody that you want to blame for why your life is not where you want it to be. And you know what? Nobody is coming to your rescue. You have to take responsibility for your own life. You have to think, what can I do? What can I stop doing? I call that taking an audit of your life. You have to call yourself to a meeting and be very honest with yourself. What is my situation right now? Then write, what can you do different? What can you, not anybody else. I'm not talking about your friends. I'm not talking about your family members. I'm not talking about what your parents can do. What can you do different to change your current situation? So you have to call yourself to a meeting, take an audit, be honest with yourself, why you are where you are in life, why you're not making any progress in life, and start coming up with a strategy that is realistic, a strategy that you can work with. Nobody else. I'm not talking about any other person out there. I'm talking about you. Yes, you. What can you do different? Because many times it feels good. It's so easy to blame our employers, to blame our colleagues, to blame somebody for our predicaments. And you have to have a mind change, a mind shift. You have to start thinking differently. You know, the good memes we see out there, shower yourself with positive thoughts. What kind of thoughts are you entertaining? Have you ever been with someone who, out of the blues, just mentioned, I don't like how that person is looking at me. I don't think they like me. That is a mindset that nobody can change other than yourself. Why do you always think that other people hate you? Why do you always think that people don't like you? Just by looking at them, but them looking at you, you have concluded they don't like you the way they look at you. How do they look at you exactly? And so there is something called the battle in our minds. And for us to be able to achieve anything in life, you have to win the battle in your mind, the battle that is telling you it's not your fault, it is somebody else's fault. That it's not your responsibility, it's somebody else's responsibility. It's your responsibility to change your life if you do not like where you are. If you don't like anything in your life, stop blaming people, your parents. If only they took me to college. If only they were rich. If only they had done this and that. If only my uncles, if only my siblings. Hey, God has given you ability to do it. What are you supposed to do in order to work towards changing your mindset, taking responsibility, and going for the change that you want to see in your life. So number one, you have to involve God. You cannot do life all by yourself. The word of God says that whoever lacks wisdom, in the book of James, should ask from me who gives freely. When did you last ask God for wisdom? When did you last pray for God's wisdom? I think because we've gone to school and we have our degrees and masters and PhDs, at times we usually think we are the custodians of wisdom. And so we don't go to God for wisdom. We just assume because we went through school, we are very wise people. There is a difference between being schooled and wisdom. So the word of God is very categorical. And it says, whoever lacks wisdom should ask from me. And so work with God. Ask God for his help. And as you do all that, you have to catch yourself blaming your circumstance or other people. You have to catch yourself doing that so that you can change that narrative in your mind, so that you can change that behavior. Because if you don't catch yourself doing it, then you'll just go through life repeating the same thing, expecting a different result. And as long as you keep doing the same thing, you will get the same result. So you have to catch yourself blaming your circumstance, blaming other people, pointing fingers at other people, and not taking responsibility. People who blame others, they are simply running away from taking responsibility. And you have to take responsibility for your actions, for why you are where you are, and why you're not seeing the progress you want to see. Nobody can do that for you, I assure you. Nobody will do that for you. You have to do that for yourself. As you come up with a strategy for your life, as you come up with things to do away with, things to change, things to embrace, people to let loose, you need discipline to stay focused. Without discipline, you will go nowhere. And so you have to practice discipline in your everyday life. Without discipline, you cannot sustain what you've achieved. For you to achieve anything substantial, anything worth praising, anything worth noticing, anything praiseworthy, you have to be consistent. And so when you lack discipline, you cannot sustain what you have. When you lack discipline, when you drop discipline in any area of your life, it will start to suffer. So you have to maintain a very high level of discipline. If you say you're going to be saving a certain amount of money to further your studies, to start that business, you have to do it consistently. You cannot do it today and drop tomorrow and pick it up after 5 days or weeks or months. You have to be consistent and keep at it. The other thing that I have noticed that people don't want to start from a low level. And at times, we blame or use our education level to hinder us from starting somewhere. How many times have you heard people say, that is such a low position, I cannot start from there? And at times, you can be lucky and start from a high position. But guess what? That is not everyone's path. There are situations that can force you to start at a lower level in an organization. Can you start? Have a positive attitude as you do that job. When people have missed opportunities just because they don't want to start from a lower position, guess what? As long as you do not have something to your name, you're not allowed to be even entitled. That if something doesn't package itself a certain way, if it doesn't come with a big name, a director, a so-and-so, then that is not for you. The world will surprise you out here. Start from somewhere. I have seen people even work for free. We can call it working for free, but I don't believe that is what it is. Because at the end of the day, you gain. You come out of there with experience you would not have gained if you had not given your time, your expertise, your abilities to it. So it is important that you know what you want to achieve. And I know you can say you don't even have fare to go to that organization, to even volunteer, to give yourself for service. But I've seen people who wake up in the morning, early in the morning, and they tarmac. It might be for a season. And that's why I've told you have to engage God. That as you do that, ask God for his wisdom and his favor, that the people who you're working for will notice your attitude, your great attitude. They will notice your hard work. And I have heard stories of people started from low positions, even as security guards. They worked in homes. They did all manner of jobs, what you will call an odd job, which I don't believe there is anything like that. Because anything that gives you an income, I wouldn't call it an odd job. I'll just call it a job. But we have categorized them. Because of the categories we've given to these kind of jobs, we feel that we cannot do them. That with all my education, I cannot do it. But ask even the people that have gone to study abroad. They have been waiters, they've been janitors, they have been newspaper vendors, they've done all manner of jobs while they were in college and even some after. And so you are there thinking that you cannot start from a low paying job. You cannot start, you need a label. You will suffer. Those are the things I say you have to have a mind shift and decide you're going to think differently in order to achieve what you want to achieve. Stop blaming your parents for not taking you through school. You are in your late 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s. You have got no business. Even in your 20s, you've got no business blaming your parents. Because I have watched people that have changed the story of their home. They have changed their narrative and achieved more than anybody who had both parents with all the education have done. I have watched people come literally from grass to grace. I have seen people do construction jobs and saved for their first course. They've taken themselves to school. You need to do a particular course in order to achieve the kind of destiny you want to achieve. Then you have to be disciplined in the decisions you're going to make. The choices you're going to make will determine if you're going to achieve your goals or you're just going to be a dreamer. Because dreams without goals will only remain as dreams. Dreams without goals, they'll just be dreams. And you'll be a beautiful dreamer. And I've had people, they have got amazing dreams. One day I will do. This is what I plan. But they've got no set goals and no plans against their goals. They just have got great words. I will do, I will do. Dreams without goals will just remain dreams. So dream and come up with a plan. Set goals. What do you want? Nobody can answer that for you. You have to answer that for yourself. So we've said engage God. We've said you have to be disciplined. You have to be focused. You have to be focused and remain focused in order to achieve your goal in life. In order to change your narrative, you have to stay focused, know why you're doing what you're doing, and make sure that nothing interferes with that. Because if you allow people, if you allow situations to interfere with what you want to achieve, if you lose focus and start following after what is not in your goal, what does not benefit your goal, then you'll not be able to achieve what you need to achieve. Resilience will give you success. You cannot give up. You cannot afford to give up. How? How can you afford to give up when you have a lot to lose if you don't stay focused? Situations will arise that will make you almost give up, lose your focus. Don't fall into the trap. Be resilient. Have perseverance in all seasons, as long as you know what you're doing and why you are doing it. As long as you know the end goal, persevere through the pains. Some days it will be very painful. Remember why you are doing what you're doing. Everything I'm talking about is trying to get ourselves from the blame game and to start taking responsibility for our own future, for our life, for the progress we want to see, for the success we want to see. And so you cannot afford to give up. You cannot afford to let yourself down. So persevere. Some days will be very tough. The seasons will change, just like we have winter and summer and fall and autumn. When it is the winter season of your life, you will feel like throwing in the towel. But remember, after winter, summer comes up. It's going to be bright again. And those that persevered through winter will enjoy the summer of their lives. So you have to persevere. Stay focused. Resilience, perseverance. Have an attitude of gratitude that will change your life. It will change your mindset. It will bring a shift in your mind. And you will come from blame game, blaming people, to having an attitude of gratitude. Being grateful for where you are, for what you're able to achieve, for the people that the Lord will have used, for the people that will come in your life to encourage you to achieve your goal. An attitude of gratitude will make you appreciative of every small achievement or help that you will have received. It will help you acknowledge people's contributions in your life, your own contribution, God's contribution. And you will have come from the spirit of blaming others, pointing fingers, to a person who is grateful for where they are in life, what they have achieved in life, and you will achieve more with an attitude of gratitude. You can do it. Take an audit of your life. See what you can change, what you can drop, things that you can do different. I have been your host, Doreen Guya, and I hope you have learned something today. If you would like to share your own story about perseverance, about resilience, about how you overcame the odds, kindly leave a comment. And remember to share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It's been an honor talking to you today. God bless.